Hello YouTube and welcome back to Psychology Every Day. Today it's Sunday, which means Sports Psychology Sunday, and today I want to talk to you about functional training. When I first heard about this, it was seen as a joke, and it was a joke. It was just people sort of balancing on little balance pad and doing rotator cuff exercises to not actually have to work out. Back in those days, 2010 or whatever, everyone did powerlifting. Even bodybuilders did powerlifting. Strongmen did powerlifting. And functional training was sort of, well, you had the people that did sort of Turkish get-ups and other kettlebell things, but that was simply a counterbalance, a rebellion towards the powerlifting that dominated the gym context in that time. And here's the thing, right? I grew up in the powerlifting community, and I even named my training journal #functional training as sort of an ironic joke, because irony was also something that was extremely cool back in the day. I'm a millennial, so but there was a stint of truth to it, because I noticed, and a lot of people noticed, that powerlifters had some serious weaknesses, and a lot of old manual laborers would always claim that these gym rats were no good when it came to actually doing stuff in real life. And they were not kidding. But of course, being used to whatever it is that you're doing is the biggest part. But powerlifters, people who did only the 3 basic lifts, which was also a thing back in the day, they would struggle with the bottleneck thing that we talked about last Sunday, where they would have so weak points that it didn't matter that they could sort of deadlift 600 pounds or whatever, because they had no biceps. And biceps is actually pretty important when it comes to manual labor and doing things in real life, and grip as well. Now, powerlifters don't have super bad grip, but they are lacking in like wrist strength and stuff like that. And I noticed it in myself when I did manual labor. Now, I've always been sort of a strong guy, but my training did not really help at all when it came to a lot of things. Now I'm going to show you an example. We were doing some renovation here, and I put up this old, I don't know what it's called, construction something, byggställning in Swedish. So heavy, but like I said, I wasn't used to it, and that is the biggest part. Functional training, ironically, became sort of the thing that I transitioned from after quitting powerlifting. And that's funny because I was ragging on it so much. But functional training is not about sort of balancing on a little board just to avoid effort. Functional training is about actual function, and actual function requires immense strength and great cardiovascular ability and mobility and balance. These 4 things. And whatever you are lacking in becomes a bottleneck thing in itself. So here's my outside gym. And last week I did sort of over the shoulders with 50 kilo balls while wearing a 30 kilo vest. And anyone who does barbell work will think that, oh well, 50 kilo is nothing. But anyone of my friends and other people that have handled these balls and tried to throw them over here can testify just how brutal it is to actually try and handle that are not so easy to hold on to like a bar. And here's the thing, reality is never so easy as to hold on to a bar. There is always the problem of balance, of grip, of sort of the chaos factor. And that is why you need to be strong everywhere, and you need to have great balance, because you're never, ever, ever, ever going to be able to sort of do a solid 2 point feet balance squat or deadlift thing in real life. And the mobility is part of that, because one thing that we noticed when we started to train with these balls is that even though I could barbell press like 100 kilos with a bar, with a medium grip, I could barely extend both my arms in the center line to lift like 20 kilos. And that is what functional training is about. And I love it so much. It's very challenging and it's very fun. And I highly recommend it, actually. I am going to get this 50 kilo ball over the bar. And to do that, I have to train for that function. I love functional training the most because it does give you a lot of room to train sort of what you want, as long as you make sure to cover up your weaknesses. But then beyond that, just get really good at whatever it is that you're good at. And that is sort of up for you to decide. Because guess what? If you cover your weaknesses and train them properly, then powerlifting by all means can be your primary thing, because this will give you sort of the base strength that is also very functional. But your main thing can be running, because having amazing cardio and endurance will make you extremely functional. Even if it's, let's use fighting as an example. Fighting is always a good example because it is the sort of ultimate version of what functionality actually is. It's sort of the base primal thing. Even if you're not interested in fighting at all, or if you're not, interested in martial arts at all, there are many ways to be good at fighting. You can be good at fighting by being extremely strong, or being extremely skilled and agile. Just kick someone in the head, right? Or you can be it by having amazing endurance. But you also have to fix your weaknesses. Your amazing endurance won't mean anything if you are terribly weak. If you are amazingly strong, but after 30 seconds or even in your natural state, you will be sort of winded, then of course that's not going to work. So this video is my love for functional training. If you want to know more about it, just talk to me and I'll set you up with a little bit of a training program. Next week, I'm going to talk about the courses in sports psychology that I'm taking this fall, and that's going to be a great time. Now I'm off with my son to church. Have a fantastic Sunday, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.